recipes for technical trading success in Cook's Kitchen.
I'm not crying. You're crying, Goldman Sachs and Wedbush and Raymond James. They're all not bullish enough on Alteryx, and I'm going to tell you why they should be more bullish. Let's take a trip back to last week, just a few days ago, when Goldman actually initiated coverage with a $110 price target on AYX. The day before, I wrote a bull of the day on Alteryx. And that's the way you pronounce it. You might hear people say Alteryx, but company pronounces it Alteryx, like the word alter. So I published this on Friday, but I actually wrote it on Thursday. Friday, June 7th, Goldman initiates bullish with a $110 price target. We were buying in the 80s. Nice to have that little pop in the stock. So you can find this article on Zacks. Just search AYX, bull of the day, June 7th. A lot of good information in here. I talk about the total addressable market and why I think the company's on a path to $1 billion in revenues by 2022. So check that out. Okay. So why are other companies neutral, like a Wedbush or a Raymond James? Well, they may be concerned about the valuations in software. And who wouldn't be with some companies trading 20 times sales, like Viva Systems, which I owned and let go of too soon. Many others. But AYX only trades under 15 times sales. And they are doing something unique and powerful in helping companies mine their data. Right now, there's chaos out there. So you want to talk about a gold rush, companies going out and finding new markets. The gold rush is for companies to go inside and mine their own data. And Alteryx has a powerful platform that helps them do that, whether they're dealing with data scientists or, average knowledge workers buried in spreadsheets. Okay. So, again, looking at last week, we had a big M&A. Look at my screen here. Google bought a private company called Looker, and they paid $2.6 billion. Now, D.A. Davidson, the team there, wrote a good note about, who might be next in line for, to get taken out. And AYX, Alteryx was top of their list, along with MongoDB, maybe Okta. But Okta is identity security. So not really in this space with like a New Relic, Alteryx, MongoDB. And then what happens Monday? Salesforce buys Tableau data. Oh no. And this is why some of these these brokers remain neutral on AYX. Wedbush is neutral with a $93 price target. Raymond James is market perform. D.A. Davidson actually only upped their price target to 95 this morning. And I'll get to that news. This week, Alteryx is having their big user conference. And they had an investor presentation yesterday, which was really powerful. I'm going to show you some of that slide deck. But I think what the analysts at D.A. Davidson might be reacting to is that Google, Facebook, and Amazon, they don't go and buy public companies. They buy private ones. Now, aside from Facebook spending way too much on WhatsApp, at $19 billion a few years ago, these guys with all the these cash war chests, they're buying small companies. I'll show you a chart of that in a minute. Okay, let's go to the newsroom for Alteryx. Lots of stuff coming out because they're having their Inspire conference. Inspire, that's what they call it every year, down in Nashville. Started Monday. I listened to a great presentation yesterday. Let's take a look at the deck, okay? The most exciting thing for me was the product manager, the SVP of product management, Ashley Kramer. Not only did she give a deep dive in how users use Alteryx to mine their data, but she's just a terrific speaker. And you should definitely see if you can find an audio recording, catch some YouTube videos. and take a look at this deck. You can find this on their investor relations page. So I'm just going to go through some of the things that she talked about. This quote is really powerful. The reason why it is so difficult for existing firms to capitalize on their disruptive innovations is that their processes and their business model that make them good at the existing business actually make them bad at competing for the disruption. Whoa. All right, so this is what I'm saying is going on. Companies, not only are they flooded in data, but it's chaotic. And the companies that can't adapt and learn how to use their data are going to get left behind, because the ones that are mining their data and modeling their data and turning it into insights and action are going to be 2, 3, 4, 5 steps ahead, and they will be the disruptors. So that's why I see this huge demand for the platform that Alteryx has, where they speak to the data scientists and they also speak to the person who has no coding experience and doesn't ever want to learn code. How can they pull in data from their, on-premises, the cloud, third party, and then clean it, prep it, analyze it, and then share it. And this, it's really such powerful collaboration. You think about data geeks sitting in a room crunching numbers, but really when different teams can do stuff with their data and gain new insights and modeling, it frees up people's time and it gets them excited about their jobs again. And that's what we're hearing at Inspire down in Nashville, is that customers are crazy about this platform. It's changed their careers. It's made them love their work again. All right, so let's take another look at Ashley Kramer's slides here. So here's a key one. So right now, these estimates are mostly from IDC, which is the big analytics firm, research firm. People spend too much time searching for data. 51% of time is just spent searching for the right data, and they may already have it. Knowledge workers analyze 40 million rows of data. I mean, you think about it, an Excel spreadsheet, what does an Excel spreadsheet hold? It doesn't hold 40 million rows. So people are looking at, they're buried in data and spreadsheets. People share, look at this, 28% of workers share analytics via email. That is so cumbersome and outdated to send a spreadsheet back and forth in email, or even to share it in a open source doc is crazy. And then 50% of data science models never get deployed. So here's some screenshots of the drag and drop, basically, platform for analyzing data. You pull data in from a source. You tell Alteryx what you're trying to accomplish. It gives you suggestions, and this is a collaborative tool that people across different teams can share. So the people who aren't coders can do their thing, and then the data scientists can come in and amp it up. So if you want to learn more about how this platform works, this is a great presentation. I'm just going to skip ahead here. Oh, I want to talk about this. So data scientists. There's a term from Gartner called the citizen data scientists. These are the people without, they're not coders, but they have to deal in data all day long. So Alteryx has adopted that label, the citizen data scientist. They're not a trained statistician, not an analyst, but they have to deal in data all day long. This platform brings everybody in a company together. All right, let's see what else I wanted to show you here. Just some cool stuff. Explains. Oh, here's something they announced. They've got a new feature announced yesterday. Explainable AI. So they're bringing machine learning to everybody on this platform. All right, and then it goes into the financial update. Okay, so this machine learning part is important. So a lot of the analysts are saying, well, CRM, Salesforce, buys Tableau data, and it's over for all the other data modeling platforms. But not so. A few months ago, I saw an interview with the CEO, Dean Stoker, I believe is his name, And he said, listen, Tableau is just visualization. And the future of data analysis and modeling is not about visualization. That's sort of the top end of the stack, the user product, so to speak. It will be in having pipelines of machine learning to go out and do what you want it to do on an automatic or incremental basis to mine and model your data. And so he's not, they're already partners with Tableau, so he's not worried at all that that now CRM and data are going to run away with this business because customers love this platform. They've got some big customers. I can't think of them all off the top of my head, but Shell uses it, Royal Dutch Shell, for predicting when drilling rigs are going to go down because maybe a part went down. So they've got all this data, and they're monitoring now all the data on their rigs, and now they can have predictive analytics about when a part might go bad, and you can imagine how that increases their operational efficiency. Who else is a big customer here? Daimler in trucking is a big customer. They've got so many customers, I can't even think of them all right now. Let's go back to, there's a conference. So on their press release page, they're talking about unleashing your inner AI, and a lot of good articles there. Okay, so this is the interview. Actually, Stoker, the CEO, was on Mad Money, and there you can see more of their customers. They're partners and customers with Amazon, but who isn't, or you'd be foolish not to. They've got banks, because they help banks mine their data there too, to whether it's financial modeling or actual price and systems modeling on securities. But it was in this interview where Stoker said, visualization is not the future. It's going to be in machine learning models. And so that's what they're trying to create. All right, to give you an idea of why the revenues are growing 30 to 40% here, and they're on a run rate to hit $400 million in sales in the next 2 quarters. So at a $6 billion market cap, there's your 15 times sales. What does it cost? So they have 3 basic products. They have the designer product, which is actually how you mine and model your data, and that costs $5,200 per seat license. So a small company for an annual fee could easily get this product and begin industrial strength data modeling. But they have companies who pay over $500,000 a year because they use so many other services. There's an Alteryx server, which stores tons of data, and then there's a gallery, which is an enhanced collaboration tool. And they've just launched something called Connect and Promote, which they're constantly increasing the value here. They just made an acquisition a couple of months ago for another small data analytics firm called ClearStory. And they're not raising their prices right now, but they're offering new features to embed this and keep their customers happy. They cite one customer example, 4,000 employees, and they have 250 licenses. Now, I'm sure they're not paying, $5,000 for all 250 licenses. They'd probably get some kind of deal, because that would be like over 1.2 million. But it is possible. So they have many customers that pay over $500,000 per year to access these tools. Okay. Another thing that Stoker has talked about, and you should watch that Mad Money interview, you can find it on YouTube, is they're in the middle of the stack. So they're not creating the data, they're finding the data, drawing it in, and then delivering it to users. So they're sort of ubiquitous in the marketplace, and so many companies want to work with them. Think about it. Remember, I'm trying to get across this idea of the gold rush, because there's chaos inside of a business. So the gold rush is to mine your own data. And if you're worried about the competition getting better at mining their data than you are, you should be worried, but you want to overcome that chaos. And it's like, if you can grab this platform and begin to use it, let your people use it to gather and model your data and have it be useful to you, they're going to grab it. And right now, I think that the company actually has more pricing power than they let on. So we'll see how that evolves. All right, just taking a look at my notes. What else we want to talk about here? Oh, let's talk about the upgrades today because of the presentation I listened to yesterday. The one I showed you was about an hour-long investor presentation, and the analysts were all there. Many good questions. They're trying to understand, what the growth is. The company announced targets. Their gross margin target is like 92% or something. But a lot of upgrades today. So let's take a look at that. I just made some notes of them real quick here. Let's see where I can find this. Go to my overview. All right. So, Citi says, you can take a look at my screen here. Citi says they're talking about CRM and data. Nobody's going to compete for data. CRM's got it wrapped up. But they really like Alteryx as a top pick, given the company's combination of strong top-line growth paired with near best-in-class unit economics and profitability. Not really talking about the platform, more the financials. Needham this morning raises their price target from 108 to 120. Where did I have D.A. Davidson? I left them out, I guess. Wedbush remains neutral. They think there's a lot of competition coming. And the competition they talked about was data, which I don't see as real competition for Alteryx, but they did mention Microsoft. Microsoft could easily, they have the firepower and the manpower to copy what Alteryx is doing or to create their own sort of model. So Alteryx could definitely be competition. Who knows? Maybe Microsoft could be. Maybe Microsoft decides just to buy them because the platform is so well liked among customers. All right. Let's see what else. I'm going to write this up. I'll put a lot of these details in the article that goes along with this video. So whenever I publish a new video on Zacks.com, there's always an article version too. Excuse me. Oh, this is the chart I wanted to show you before of Google, Facebook, and Amazon pretty much never acquire public companies. And look at all these acquisitions. So yeah, Whole Foods was public. Motorola was public for Google. But all these private companies. And so that's why you have to curb your enthusiasm about one of the big guys buying your companies because it doesn't seem to happen very often. They're tight-fisted with their cash. All right, let me see if I covered everything. We looked at the slide deck. We talked about customers. We talked about the analysts. We talked about possible, pin action here from MongoDB, New Relic. They're trying to do similar things. Splunk may be the leader here. I mean, they do over $2 billion in revenues, and they have been a leader. But Alteryx has an old history. Even though the company name Alteryx wasn't created until 2010, it was actually born out of the three founders who founded a company back in 1997. So the three founders have been doing data analytics for 2 decades at least. So a lot of deep experience here. This company didn't just come out of nowhere, I guess is the point I'm trying to make there. All right. So we talked about machine learning, and we talked about the social aspect. That data seems dry and boring, and it's a numbers-only game, but it's not really. When you can unleash data for workers to use, it unleashes their creativity and brings people together in teams with new ideas. They're saving time. I mean, IDC estimates that like 60 billion a year is wasted with people, in spreadsheets or just trying to find the right data and then learn how to model it. And Alteryx is just creating a revolution to let companies, find the gold in their data and turn chaos into cold hard cash so they can compete against the other guy who probably hasn't done it yet. All right, thanks for joining me on the discussion of Alteryx, and keep your eye on this company. I'm not saying rush out and buy it at 105 this morning as it makes new highs, but definitely look for it on pullbacks. All right, thanks for joining me in the kitchen.